Have a great time planting seed. Now remember that when we started in our introduction, we said that 85% of the world are bread eaters. 85% of the world are bread eaters. Only 15% identify the seed from the bread and they plant seed. And that is why they are. The job God gives to you is an opportunity. He gave you, and the salary you earn is both bread and seed. Don't eat all the salary. Inside that salary, there is a seed, assets and liability, seed time and harvest time. Learn to plant your money trees, and your money trees will grow. I rest my case.
Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome session.
Sorry, sir. Can I quickly?
Thank you very much. Thank you for today. Thank you for the way it has actually been delivered. Exceptional session. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, Josh, I know you asked me a question. Shoot.
Yes.
Clarification.
Sorry, please. I was taking point number 3, but there was a statement made that you overcome your financial blind spot when I couldn't get that statement complete before.
When you are in control, when you know your money flow.
All right, sir.
Your blind spots are things you don't know. They are the weaknesses that you do consciously or unconsciously. Let me tell you, for this, I'm one of them. Even beggars on the road, when I'm passing, when I'm doing my evening stroll, when I see all these women, you know how they line up like this, begging for money. I can, except that I'm not with my purse, I can hardly resist it. But like Buchi will remind us last lecture, he said there are some good investment and there are some bad investment. What I am doing to those people, I'm giving them bread, they go and eat. Tomorrow they will come back and eat it and ask for the same bread. And that is what I find against the palliative that we are giving. You know, that bread or that palliative, it becomes a blind spot. We treat it with an ownership mentality. You take it as it is your right. Are you aware that the man who wakes up in the morning and wants to go and stand on the road to beg, he believes it is his right that every man he begs money must give him money? Are you aware of that? He believes the society owes him. But the reality is that nobody owes him anything. But we are a very religious people, very emotional like me and all. But those are blind spots. Those are blind spots. If I must give money, let it be within, jars. Maybe that is next week. That is, I said we are going to do all of what we have said: money trees, assets, liabilities, blind spots, and all of them. We are going to have a workshop on it. A workshop is that, we will. I'll print out and send some kind of. I call it money jars or tree jars. How to plant our tree jars. You will see how you can classify, because we talked about smart budgeting. So those smart budgeting are based on 6 jars. 6 jars. 6 ways that your smart budgeting must consider. And I try to even put a proportion to it. So that's why I say you are in control of your money means that you follow the principle. That principle, you are here to get it. That is next lecture. I'm trusting God. Today we are 21. I'm sure nobody amongst you here will miss that. Instead, let every one person bring another person. Because next Sunday, God willing, is going to be the sum total of all that we have. It's going to be the practical. That's why I call it a workshop. It's going to be how to put it into action. Nobody would want to miss that. I just want to prove to you that you can have a money tree and the principle and the jars that you need in your life. Like I told Pamela, I'm not going to say you have 2 kids, don't buy Pampers, don't buy baby food. There are things you can control, there are things you cannot control. But when you have, as it were, a recipe, when you have these jars and you are portioned, a fixed amount into them, that is smart budgeting, smart thinking. That is how to grow money trees. All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you once again, sir. Doctor, thank you, sir.
Please, sir, I think I have a question. And I
Shoot.
don't know if I'm opportune to actually shoot.
It's free. Shoot. You are free.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Well done, and thank you. Actually, from today's listening, if we look at it vis-a-vis the present situation of the economy now, while I'm actually getting to have a new understanding that immediately God drops anything for you, there is a seed and there is a bread.
Yes.
The seed actually accompanies the bread, but we actually hopefully take all the bread.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at situations like for somebody that is just a salary. I'm painting an hypothetical 100% case. It's just a salary, and the salary is not actually enough now. Maybe before it is enough and he has actually been able to squeeze one or two things out. Then, as in the case of not eating with both hands. But now, with the present situation, with the various hike in every parameters that has to do with a man's living.
Okay.
Create planting a tree now is possible because there is
Very
nothing
possible.
actually impossible.
It's possible.
But I am looking at it from the angle of it will be growing in an infinitesimal manner. It will not be growing as we look at it geometrically. And I don't know if you can shed more light on that.
By the way, Psyche works in a microfinance. So please properly introduce yourself, because there are people who might want to patronize you. Don't stop come pushing for me. Like I said, I'm a facilitator. I'm a connector. So I can connect people. So properly introduce yourself. His microfinance is doing extremely well. So please start with that first. Because let's just go before I answer your question. So introduce yourself.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening to everyone in the house. I think we have about 19 participants aside me and our able doctor, our facilitator. I am actually Psyche Okasime Akinkorede. I'm from Edo State. I'm from Avoka Edo local government. I'm actually a native of Igara 100%. I work with Astra Polaris.
No,
said,
converse later, bro. Pastor Joshua, converse later.
Does she? We can actually talk outside here now.
I will share his number. We are go on, my friend.
Okay. I work with Astra Polaris Microfinance Bank. Our head office is in Abeokuta in Ogun State. We are a state microfinance, but presently we are actually upgrading our CBN license from regional. We wanted to actually go national. And now, since most banks, I'm talking about the commercial side of it, everybody is now trying to go into public offer. We are actually bringing in investors that will actually take us to that particular segment. So I happens to be a management staff. I have worked with our able boss. I worked with him in Port Harcourt. There was a particular section he was talking about Genesis. I was in Genesis then. I was actually an assistant operations manager there. And I've worked in other various areas of life. I've been in the entertainment side of life before I move into the microfinance. And I just actually acquired my CIBN certificate in the month of April. So that's the little about me. If there is anything at the realm of you talking about banking and investment, I'm actually saddled with our own wealth creation department. I am in the wealth creation department. Basically, I can tell you from what our doctor said. He said, can you get a bank that can give you, or an investment outfit that can give you more than 3%, 3.5% that our commercial bank will offer you? We can actually offer more than that, but that depends on the longevity, as in the tenure at which you're actually fixing.
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you've done enough introduction. You see, let's tackle it from two different angles. You answered my question by saying that for every bread there is a seed inside.
Yes.
Is it not so? So the answer to your question, it is possible. But like I said, all of us have been running with the wrong mindset, the wrong beliefs, the wrong financial culture, and I call it financial crisis, identity crisis. We will learn by the next practical class. What? We will take an example. Anybody give me a tentative salary that you think you earn, and I will tell you what is the percentage, what is the seed there, and what is the bread there. So all you need to go out is to practicalize it. I will come to the jars. But you are saying the time we are seeing, Isaac sowed in the land when? During famine. Is it not so? And God gave 30%, 60%, 90%, 100% increase. In fact, the best time to sow is now. Let me give you an example. As you are looking for money now, there are people who have assets, properties, who are desperate, who are selling it as first value, first face value. You are in the banking system. The best opportunity to invest now is now. I'm telling you. It's just for you to be able to identify whatever comes your way. You see, God is generous. Go and read that. You are not part of us. Let me take the benefit of just reading that scripture because a lot of people came in fresh today, and you will see what we are saying. You see what we are saying is 2 Corinthians 9. At any time,
I've actually read through it. Because I've actually penciled it down.
At any time you have a seed, you have a bread. No matter how bad it is. That's why I gave even an example. I think when I was teaching this thing, I said, take somebody who says he's even unemployed. He's not even earning salary. Let him tell me from the wait for you psychic. Go and sit down from 1st of January. Trap all the money. I know you can trap the money. And that's what I call money flow. Trap the money from 1st of January to 30th of June, first half of the year. You will be shocked at the money that passed through you. That is what we call money flow. All you need to do is to study that money flow and how to control it, not the money controlling you. You will realize that in that money, there are assets, there are liabilities, there are bread, there are seeds, but you were unable to identify. So that is the essence of this session that we have started 3 weeks ago. The end is that at the end of the day, you will be able to identify. So don't ever say at any time in your life you have enough money for investment. And no matter, don't say it is small. And we did say it is your income that increases in arithmetic. In other words, 10%, 20%, 5%. That is your income that increases in that manner. But that seed multiplies in geometry. That is, for every seed there is a harvest. For every seed there is a harvest. No seed, once it dies, falls to the ground, die, comes out with the same one seed. No. And that is not a bad thing. That seed, it will remain permanent as long as you nurture and prune it, and increases its fruitfulness. So even if you think that this first year it yields one bunch of banana, no, go to the banana farm. As the one bunch comes and you cut it off, before then there is a second one sprouting. There is a third one sprouting. Meanwhile, you planted only a seed of plantain. You will go there, it will have 4, all coming up at the same time. All you need is to change your attitude. Don't think for the seed like the farmer. The farmer does not wait and say, how will the seed grow? How will it germinate? grow, bring fruits, but plant it. God commanded you just go and plant. He said you will sow in detail, but you will reap, you will harvest in joy and celebration. I don't know if I've answered your question.
I also have a question, sir.
Hello, boss.
Yes, yes, sir.
CEO, hold on. Let our filmmaker shoot before you follow.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
To a large extent, I have to say yes. I have to say yes. But I still feel, just as you said it, I think the right time is now for us to plant. I think so.
Okay. And also wait after next Sunday.
There's another perspective I want to bring to it. But after Joshua. There's another perspective I want to bring to it. But after Joshua, I will share my own experience.
Okay.
So Joshua, thank you so much, sir. This class is immensely beneficial, like the low-hanging fruits, and that there's the mindset of impossibility. Because when you're looking at earnings and what's going out, like I posted on the group the other time, that if I look at what has come through my hands this year alone, that it's enough to make a man cry, and not also identifying what comes in that should be a seed and what should be bread. And so it's just there's no excuse, no matter how important, like you said, pampers for the baby and all. This class it should be like a treasure. This particular recording should be saved somewhere. Very important going into the distant future. So my question is about timing with the seed thing. I remember growing up, there's this story my grandma used to tell me, because she's told me a lot of stories, and I think that this flair for writing films and even coming into the entertainment was birthed by the hands of my grandmother growing up with her. So she has told me stories about people that visited the land of the dead, and many of the things she told me felt like it actually happened. There's one she told me, there's a film that Hollywood released called Coco, one of the most successful animated film ever released, Coco. The 90% of the story in Coco, let's say 85%, happens to go in line with the thing that my grandmom told me. Exactly the story of a boy that went to the land of the dead because his father died, and then he went there by accident, that the vault that leads to the land of the dead was open, and every other story that connected to that. So I tried to develop some of those tales, because there are some things that your mind conceives, God brings to your mind as inspiration, and you look at what is obtainable within this climb, this Nigeria, the Nollywood. We don't have studios that you can say you want to shoot underwater and there's no possibilities, and there are some of the big ideas that God brings, and you put it down, and then tomorrow you realize that somebody has done something similar. But when you conceived it, because sometimes there's a way to check if the script, the story that you're given, that you're trying to create, if someone has done something similar, there's a way to check, and I take that very seriously. And so when you have something that's very original, you cannot feel so proud, oh, you're saving this for a good time. We wanted to do a film for young people in TRC for one of the youth programs, a very short film about suicide, taking another angle that I've never seen people done a film on suicide and depression on. And then I brought some people to a WhatsApp group that we created with some young people, ESCOs, and our leaders. Something happened that we didn't eventually get to shoot the film, maybe due to budget and all. But one of the youths, one of the outsiders that I added to the group that was to assist us with one thing or the other, there were people that he wanted to buy the script, and then he even kept increasing the amount. And I'm telling him, bro, that I'm not selling my stories, I'm also a filmmaker, so I'm waiting for budget to be able to do some of these things that God has given me to do. So, but it's about timing. No, this person has moved on. They might even go and create something similar, and then so my question is in this line: what if you have a seed that the time for the planting of that seed is not near, and how do you?
I disagree with you completely. It boils down to your attitude towards money. What you want is, you want 100% of 10 million, whereas you can take 5% of 100 million. What's the difference? You see, like you said, a seed. For every seed, it has what you call a moratorium period. And that's why the Bible says, except a corn of wheat falls to the ground and die. Some seeds take you 5 days. Some take 2 weeks. Some take even, I've taught about the Chinese bamboo tree in this class. Can anybody remember?
Very well, sir.
I said it takes it 7 years. Is it not what I said? So,
Yes, boss.
so what you are
Yes,
saying,
sir.
my young man, is that the time for your seed, the time for your film is now. But what you have a wrong attitude towards a money tree. You want to own 100% of your entire idea. Meanwhile, you have forgotten that ideas, God creates idea and releases idea per second, and ideas are flying, and they are not limited to you. Remember, I said God is amoral, is impartial to who capitalizes on it. He said, even you are a believer. He said, my word will not return to me void. So if you don't catch it and plant it, somebody else will do. But you are holding on to it because what stops you? What stops you? The God that gave you that idea on cocoa that you could have started. But, come partner with somebody. I did mention. I said, what is stopping you from this idea? I mentioned it. So if it is maybe the funding and you get a partner who will fund it, what is your problem? You are sitting in there, you are waiting for the day all things will be equal. Did we not also say that seeds grow out of where? Our comfort zone. And I gave an example. I said the farmer, he does not wait for the weather to be right. Come rain, come sun, he wakes up in the morning. He knows that morning time is the time to go and plant seed. He goes out under the sun, under the rain. All things being equal. The day you were born, you were hearing that when all things will be equal. Has anything become equal? Things will never be equal. So I say the best time is now. And I always quote my mentor. The best way to create the future, the best way to predict the future is to create it now. The best time to imagine what you will get in that investment is to sow it now. The best time to eat that money tree is now. So if you don't have all the, I said low fruit. What are the low fruits? You mentioned you pick that idea. The low fruit in that your idea is get somebody to partner with. If I'm telling you now, if that money is still available, whatever money has offered, please go and pick it up and publish it. When you publish it, the little you make from it becomes a seed. Take from that seed, the money you make from it, and plant another seed. We say this seed, it could be idea, it could be creativity. Has God not given you talent? What are you doing burying all those ideas in your memory, waiting for the day you will plant them? Guy, wake up. Smell the coffee. Buti, can you come in? Have I answered you, Joshua? Now we have two Joshua.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Oh, how about?
Yes, sir.
Buti is still on the wing, so okay. After you.
Thank you very much for this session, sir. Okay, sir. Like, I was going to refer because I listened to when Joshua spoke, and I want to say something. For me, every time is seed time. So it's just that there's a time that harvest happens. So when I think for someone to do something, like I said, like I will take myself as an example. At the time I started business, I actually didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going to. But as at the time I started, the cloud cleared. So at every point, I had everything I needed come to my aid. So I think it is best, whatever seed you have, every time is planting time. So whatever it is you have in your hand, you should plant at that time and expect a harvest. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. That's another dimension to what I've just said. Thank you. Boss.
Good evening. So, I know that for those accountants that they call, a seed can also be an asset. Because asset is something that multiplies, not a liability. So I don't know. I think it's the Holy Spirit that dropped this in my mind that we ourselves can be a seed or can be an asset.
Of course, I say you are the organization. You are the best investment God can ever make. Mention it. We were recording, but play the record.
Yeah. So instead of us focusing only on money, we need to ask ourselves, are we a good seed that someone out there will look and invest in us? Are we a good seed? So, and that's the model, because the billions that I need, I don't have it, but I know I'm working towards being a good seed. And I just kind of took myself back in memory lane. When I was doing job interview, it was the seed I sold as a multimedia guy in headquarters in Trem, setting up the projector and coming up with creatives for the headquarters. That was what I presented at the interview during the interview session. It was an interview panel that told me I was creative and innovative, and that's the reason why they recruited me. When there was a kind of a office politics then, I was in a department, in a new set of department was created, and the new department didn't have them the process analyst skill, and they came to me that they need me to move from the enemy camp to their own camp, like quote unquote. So I met my boss. I said I want to move because this is what I want to do. A week after he gave me approval to move, join them, the new department now came to me that they want to send some what we call business analysts to India for training for the upgrade of our core banking. A week or at most 2 weeks. So I moved. Within the next 2 weeks, I was in India for more than 60 days. The money I made from that was one of the lands I bought. That's what I used to buy, the allowance. So what I'm saying here is like my guy that first asked that question. From his CV, he has worked in various departments and across industry. What I am doing now is to mold myself to a good seed. For the past 2-3 weeks, people have been calling me. I heard they are your best in this area. I want us to do something. All of them know that I don't have the money, but what they are looking for is my skill to partner with them to do something. So that's another thing. For me, that's another way. So it's not only money. It has been proven that money alone won't even get you where you want to be. So the question I ask ourselves is, are we a good seed that people will want to invest in us? So that's the years of my experience and years of myself navigating through the challenges and everything, creating myself to be at a level that people will notice me. That's an investment. That's a seed. Now, when we start the actual discussion, and I put my work, they won't argue it. So now, harvest time will start happening automatically without even having one naira in that kind of discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, I just refer back to number 3 on how to grow trees, and we said operating from a controlled or conditioned mind. And it was the last part. I will quote what I said. I say, you can only do what you know. The more you know, the more money you will earn. Education pays you back for a lifetime. In other words, in that your film, what Bushi has just explained now is that he has improved himself. It was even from church. He demonstrated that it was what he knows. And the time was just ripe. Because remember, we talked about smart budgeting and all of that. Everyone is time bound, and it is God who determines the time. The week he moved with the new knowledge, the week he was, uplifted to go for further knowledge. So I said, you can only do what you know. The more you know, the more money you will earn. So in other words, the more money trees you can create. Education pays you back for a lifetime. When you get educated, when you develop yourself, it pays you for a life. I say self-development is a life skill. Make una listen, I think sometimes it's good. Go back home, digest. I say sometimes when I'm talking, it just keep flowing and all the rest. So sometimes I don't even remember what I said, but I just noted that I wrote it down. So self-development is a life. So develop yourself to that point where you become an asset. You become a seed. Somebody else wants to come and take and plant. Write your script. Let your script be so good that somebody will come and take you and your script. He wants to invest money on it. And please, you see, God, I always tell people, God is a relationship person. He does not give you all that you need to make life happen. He gives you some, and he will give you the rest to A, B, C, so that when we come together as a group, we can form a team, and together we do more. And still answering your question, I noted here, I call it social currency. Social currency is a seed. Your relationship with human being is a seed. Integrity is a seed. People can trust you. People believe in your skill. People believe in your integrity. People believe in your what I call emotional investments. How you have invested in their life, and they want to sow back those seeds on you. It's a topic I can keep talking for the whole day. But just remember, the idea God has given you is already a seed. Please try and plant it. Planting it does not mean you take 100% of it. Somebody can invest on you on it. Even yourself, you are a seed. Let somebody plant you for harvest. You share the harvest.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am very intrigued this evening, and I'd like to mostly contribute because sometimes there are some things that God has given to you as a gift, and when you don't harness them very well, you won't be able to reap from them. I am a child of circumstance in the sense that when I started business, I never had anything, but I just was like mostly playing with what I was doing, and God opened my eyes to the potentials, and I needed to like mostly get on radio to add some weight to what I was doing. And I spoke in Radio Nigeria too for like 17 years, and that opened the tentacles for me. Now back to church, I remember our doctor, our facilitator was with us when we were in the Men Can We Talk team. There was a time that they said they needed a newsletter, and all the people that they were talking to, they were busy looking at how much they can get from printing one newsletter and all of that. And I remember John Ebodagi and Sylvana Osogbo and some people to talk to me. They said, we know you can do this thing. Why don't you just do this thing? We don't need all these people that are asking us for an arm and a leg. And I was doing this newsletter, and it was superlative, and a couple of people were coming in because of the newsletter. I edited the newsletter for as long as it lasted. And whilst I was doing that, we had the first coordinator, Bishop Dan Nani. We had another one, Reverend Okeo Meze. Then I think it was at the point where Reverend Lukorede came in that we stopped the newsletter. But that threw me to the frontiers of editing, proofreading, compiling, and building content for most of the major TREM programs that we do, their brochure. And all for nothing. I don't even ask for a fee. I just do those things, and I just enjoy doing those things. And the best they can give to me is, okay, take 30,000 naira for cost of data to do those things. But lately I just noticed that in some of the foreign trips that Bishop is taking to some of the foreign churches, they said, I hear you are the best in this. And I tell some of the pastors that, yes, I will do that, but for a little fee. And whatsoever I put down, they don't object to it. So it starts by you sowing some things that you know you can do for free, all for nothing. And it gets to the point where people will reckon that, yes, you are a force to reckon with regard to this, and they will start paying whatever you ask for it. Today, if I name my price to anybody, they will, based on what he has done, I think it merits that. They will give, some will even give more than that to me. You understand? Then the idea thing that we're talking about, boss, if you remember the time we brought Sonny Ojegbaise to demolished, you know, that was a major thing. Everybody was saying, it's my idea, I don't want to give it out to anybody, they will steal my, and the man opened his mouth and said, what idea are you saying is preclusive to you? Yes, just like boss was saying this evening, he said the ideas, the same way God has brought the ideas out and you have it and you are holding back to it, he has released it to 101 people, and anybody that has the ability to push it first, the person will be the one to reap from it. A case in point was when pure water was just pure water sachet in Lagos. You know, nylon, and they pour water on the nylon, they tie it, you put it on in the refrigerator, and they carry it out to Broad Street, and they are hawking pure water, pure water. A lot of people had the idea of doing it, but they never started. But the people that started made a meal from it, and pure water grew from pure water to bottled water and where it was today, because people were not hawking water on the street. But the first person that had the idea was one of my cousins that came. He talked about it. I said, what are you waiting for? Start anyhow. He couldn't. Before he knew what was happening, 3 months down the line, people have bombarded the streets of Lagos, and they are selling pure waters and they were making money. At the best, what he did was to now start running a lecture for students who are taking JAMB and all of that. But that could have given him a cash cow, which he never looked at. So an idea is not an idea without you starting something with it.
Thank you so much. I mean, these are experienced people.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I just wanted to add something to what Mr. Peter said. Okay, far back in 2005, I think myself and my classmates were in a bus. So I think we're going to school. So because we were just a 200 level computer undergraduate students. So my friend was talking about how it could be that in Nigeria, for every drug that was produced, you can just scratch the pin and text it a particular number. You know if it was fake or real. So say fast forward to some months later, he didn't act on that idea. Then we saw it everywhere. So right now, if you see drugs now, you see drugs with scratch, where you can scratch and know if it is fake or real, to confirm if it's fake or real. So like what Mr. Pisa said, there's no idea that's original. So the same way you're thinking about it, someone else is thinking about it, is also thinking about it. So it's left for you to act very, very, very fast as soon as you get that idea. Thank you, sir.
I think God is amoral to word creation. God is amoral. He doesn't care whether you are Muslim, Christian, or atheist. He doesn't care whether you are Yoruba or Hausa, this one now. It is whoever seizes the opportunity, who sees the moment, you hit the jackpot. Don't wait for the day everything will be perfect. It's been an interesting evening. Funny enough, people are not willing to go. Is there any other person adding anything?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir. I want to contribute. I want to share a short story. So I know that this will help some people here. It will help. It's what I did when I was still single before I got married. I want to start with, if you cannot save 3 naira out of 10 naira, you might not be able to save 30,000 out of 100,000. You start small. Now, there's this thing I did. When I had an apartment, I started a business because I didn't know how I was going to pay my house rent. And there's nobody that was around to support me, to help me. No brother, sister, nobody to look up to, but I had to do something, to help myself out. So I started selling clothes. And these clothes I was hawking. So I'll go to Ireland, I'll buy the clothes, I'll come back, I'll start selling that same day. Now, and I had to do something. So out of what I was selling daily, I was saving 1,000 from it for a year. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, I'm telling you. So I had to discipline myself to save no matter what, I have to save 1,000 daily for a year. And I was able to pay my first house rent and I paid my second house rent with that. So what I'm saying is that you have to make decision, and it's not going to be comfortable. It's never comfortable. You
Sacrifice, comfort zone, and uncomfort zone.
So I believe this will also inspire or motivate someone to start saving today and planting a money tree. Thank you.
You're welcome. Today, maybe the man who is asking, who is waiting for time, he will say, "What is 1,000?" After all, shawarma is more than 1,000, but he eats shawarma regularly. Shawarma is almost 2,000 now, Abi.
It's 5,000.
Can you imagine? As I know the chop, I don't know. So
the locally made one is 2.5. The locally made one is 2.5.
Okay. So, and these are guys who can. I will teach you. Don't worry. By next class, you will know. You will know how money for saving. If you are ready to plant tree, you will know where it is coming from. You will know where it is coming from. We'll handle it. My advice is, as many as came today, don't just come alone for next class. Like I said, it's going to be a practical. I will give you the jars and you fill them all by yourself. You will fill them all by yourself based on your practicality. So maybe as a homework, I'm going to type it on the platform now. Let everybody monitor, study your money flow from January 1st of January to 30th of June, 6 months for the first half. Just monitor. I don't need you to come and tell me this is the amount, but have it at the back of your mind. And once you have that amount of money, in other words, this is money that you have spent on, this money I have spent on, this money I have spent on, this is how. Sum it up. For instance, for those of us who drink Coke, how many bottles of Coke you drink a day, a week, a month? Add it up. Those who take shawarma, do it. Whatever it is that you take, all that you spend your money on, come up with it. Then it is based on that. And when we finish that class on Sunday, by the grace of God, nobody will come and tell me I don't have seed to sow. In fact, all you'll be doing is that you'll be biting your finger had I known. But that will be a good opportunity for the remaining few months of the year to come to an end. Anytime you wake up is your money. So if you didn't start planting seeds, money tree, at the beginning of 2024, if you wake up today by 1st of September and you start planting, that is when your money starts. That's the way it works. All right.
I even love to share my mantra when I started business from nothing to something. Hopefully by now, time is fast spent. Okay.
Next week you have an opportunity.
Set aside. I was able to buy major things that I needed, and that's how I didn't even go to anybody to borrow me 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 or anything. But I started, and at the end of the day, that built me a house.
Beautiful. All right. We've stretched it to almost 10, even though we started very late. But I think the interaction today has been very deep, and that's the essence of it. Knowledge does not belong to one person. As you listen to others, learn from them. I guess that we will take something home. In the absence of no other question, thank you everybody for your time. I hope that this time is an investment. We don't waste time, we don't spend time, we invest time. I hope that you have invested this time and learn to do more of investment, because it is time. I say time is the equalizer God gave to everybody. He gave the same 24 hours to everybody. So how you are able to invest your 1 hour determines what you are worth for 1 hour. How you are able to invest your day is how you determines what you earn per day. So let's all learn to invest our time. Like we said, we are the organization. So the organizational strategy and planning lies in us. Learn more, you earn more. Get more knowledge on money trees, you can plant more and your harvest will increase. God bless you all. Until I come your way next Sunday, au revoir, monsieur, mademoiselle.
Thank you very much.
Very much, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much.
All right.
God bless you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.